Have you ever seen people, or maybe it's you yourself, that have been so prideful that you think you can't fall? Well, I have something for you today. You know, in the Bible, it says in the book of Proverbs 16, 18 through 19, it says this. I'll even read it for you. It says, pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Let's talk about that today. People that are prideful. I'm Dr. VJ Baker, the head doctor, and I've seen many people in my life. Being as old as I am, I'm around 80 some years old, and I've seen many people in my lifetime, and people that thought they were invincible. They were so prideful and so arrogant because they were a millionaire or had millions of dollars or whatever it is, and that they could do whatever they wanted to do, treat people any way that they wanted to treat them. And they looked down on certain people, and they had all the answers. They thought they thought they were the brightest person in the bunch. Arrogance and pride. Those are two things that are destructive. And the higher you lift yourself, the higher in your mind you become, the greater you think you become, the more invincible you think you become. My gosh, the greater the destruction that happens. You see it in ministers, you see it in politicians, you see it in teachers, you see it in homes, you see it in your neighborhood. Maybe you even see it in yourself. If you do, this is your opportunity to make some changes. Pridefulness will lead you to destruction. And you say, why is that? Because you don't know how to listen. You don't listen to yourself when yourself is warning you. You don't listen to others when they're warning you. And you don't celebrate your mistakes. It's a wonderful thing when you test yourself, when you judge yourself, the Bible even tells you, judge yourself. Why is that? So that you won't be judged when all of these, comparing yourself to the way of the things of the world, so that you won't be judged by the world, so that you won't be judged by what it is that you thought you were so high and mighty that it wouldn't happen to you. Have you ever looked at situations with someone else and then you've gotten happy and glad about it? And you're saying that would not happen to me. You're seeing this. I'm seeing this even in our news today. I see one person saying, oh, I'm going to bring this person down. And then what happens is they start to fall. I'm going to bring this one down and they start to fall. Or I'm going to lift myself up and then you start to fall. All of these things are pride. They're pride and arrogance. These are destructions. And do you know that they're destructive to your brain? Do you know that they're destructive not only to your brain, but to those around you? Here it is. If you cannot listen to someone else, if someone else cannot help you, if someone else cannot correct you, you are already on your way to the fall. In my lifetime, I used to travel with different ministers. Many of them are, high name people or whatever it is called big name people. I don't know what that means, but at any rate, they were impressed with themselves and the world was impressed with them also. And then things started to happen. And I'm seeing all of these things that are happening behind. And I remember once I was telling one of them about his arrogance, about the way that he treated people. And he asked me, who did I think I was? And I told him who I thought I was. I thought I was your friend, but I told him my name. I didn't have to think or question who it was that I am. And it just so happened that I was going to be speaking at his big convention. And there was, oh my gosh, there was just scads of people. And I was staying in his mansion. And all of a sudden, I got sent to a hotel. I got demoted. I was so happy that I got demoted, though, because I had done what it was that I was to do. And then later, he started to fall. Different things started to happen because no one around him was willing to tell him his faults. Prideful people, please check yourself. Prideful people are people that they do not want anyone to correct them. How dare you talk to me that way? How dare you correct me? You know, I was a nurse. I was a nurse's aide. I was a nurse. I was a psychiatric technician. I was all of those things. You know, I've done all of it. Cleaned bedpans, cleaned behinds, did all of those things. One thing I noticed, actually, it was three things I noticed. One, when people got old, there was parts of their body that always wrinkled. Number two, that certain things that they did, it always stunk. And number three, that there was a day that you get to a place where you cannot do things for yourself and someone sees you naked. Go to the hospital. Get have not have the ability to control yourself. All of those things change because now that lowly person that you thought was not important at all, they are the most important person in your life. You know, that nurse's aide, that assistant, that nurse, that doctor, that whoever it was that wasn't up to your standards at first, and now they're the person that you're there for. I am so glad that while I'm where I am all the way, I've always, looked at people and wanted to treat them right. When you treat other people right, when you get to the place where you can't do things for yourself, they will treat you right. And then you will feel good about it. Okay. That one of the other things is this: pride will have you where you have no true friends. Your arrogance will have you so that you have no true friends, or you have no brothers. The Bible says this, is that a friend will false friends or whatever it is, they will tell you all kinds of things to make you feel good. But one that really loves you, or one that is close to you, they're going to tell you the truth. There's going to be adversity. I've had many people in my life, that some granny winners, some people that got the stars on the thing there. And just all kinds of people that have all kinds of money and, private jet, different things like that, clients like that, all kinds of, okay. But the thing is this, maybe it's because of how it is that I came up. Maybe it's because of working in the hospitals. Maybe it's because of the background. I've always just looked at people that I'm not impressed. Don't get impressed with yourself and then get angry with other people that are not impressed with you. So what did I say? Number one, the Bible says this: be sober and don't think so highly of yourself. Don't think any higher of yourself than you ought to. Number two, be sober about the way that you think about yourself. Well, what does that mean? What that means is this: look at it and realize I have strengths and I have weaknesses. On the other side of my strength is a weakness. My coach, Myron, I've heard him say this. He says, have you ever seen any one side slice of bread? No, it always has two. Everything always has a positive and a negative. I had never heard it like that before. I always, I talked about having a positive and a negative, but never about the slice of bread or the pancake or the biscuit or the steak or anything. It always has a positive and it always has a negative. So no matter how great you are, there is another side to you. Remember that. That's number two. Number three thing is this: always remember that people are important to your life. If you were the only person in the earth, have all the money, all the food, all the clothes, all the everything, what good would it do you? You'd have no one to share it with. You'd have no one to be prideful for. You wouldn't have anybody that you could pay to clean your house. You wouldn't have anybody that you could pray to take away your garbage or to do anything for you or to do anything with you. You need people. And because you need people, you need to remember that they are important. They are valuable. They have worth. They are people that I desire to serve. We're all here to serve, and I will serve them on the level of no matter what it is that I have. You know, some of the greatest people that I am so excited about in my life, every time the garbage people pass by, I get excited because if that stuff had to stay in my backyard or on the side of my house, that would be horrible. The other person I really get excited about. Well, I just had to fire my cleaning lady, one of them last week, because she just didn't get it about how it is to do what I needed done in my house. And I'm willing to pay, and pay your price. I didn't name the price, willing to pay your price, but I also want these things done. So I just hired someone else. And here's the deal. I didn't fire her nastily. I just let her know we had to go in two different directions because we didn't see clean the same way. But I am excited about my cleaning people. I honor them. Why is that? They give me the ability to have the time to do what I need to do. I get excited about the other people that I serve because they pay me and allow for me to pour into their lives, and because they get what I pour into their lives, they get to be able to be the best that they can be so that they can produce finances and money so that they can get the things needed, the things that they desire met. Here it is. We need each other. What does any person in this earth have the right to be prideful for? It causes you destruction because what happens is this: you lose you. And you're fighting so hard to be something that you're not that you forget who you are. Pride is false. Pride is adversarial. It is an enemy to you and your purpose. It destroys you. What happens is this: you start to treat people as if they're not important. And when you do this, you start to lose part of you. It starts to shrink your brain because now your brain cannot work positively and negatively at the same time. What happens is this: it's got to choose. The Bible says something very interesting. And as a doctor in psychology, I take it not a psychologist. The psychologist belongs to the state boards. I don't belong to the state board. I have PhD in psychology, 3 of them, in fact, and gone through all the schooling and all. But I refuse. I don't want to belong to any affiliation, any state affiliation. So I just want to get that clear. Okay. So one of the things that I found out is this: as someone that studies the brain, someone that studies the mind, the thoughts, the words, and all, every word that you speak is important. I believe, in fact, I know that you have a conscious, a subconscious, and an unconscious mind. And all of those minds have different purposes. They work differently, but they all work in order to bring things to the conscious so that they can come out of the mouth. Well, the words that you speak are actually still feeding your brain. It is your creative power. And when you are prideful, when you are arrogant, when you don't care about other people, what you're doing, I think it's Dr. Amen that has this thing called ants. What it's doing is this. When you speak negative, or when you speak down to another person, or when you speak in a manner to another person that does not lift them up, or that does not help them or assist them, what you're doing is that you're killing brain cells of your own. Because in order to be able to do that, you had to think negatively in the first place. You had to think in a manner that was destructive. See, again, pride causes destruction. And it has you so that you fall. We had talked about on another video, I had done another video, and I talked about dementia. I talked about people losing memory, people not being able to remember those things. If you can't remember those things that are good, my mother used to tell me, if you can't say anything good, if you can't say anything helpful, don't say anything at all. But I go further than that. Because what it is this: I can't waste my time. I have to break those thoughts. Oh, do I think negatively? Oh yeah, baby. Sometimes they come, and immediately, that's not my thought. I have to break it. And I say that out loud. And sometimes I holler that out loud, and people are shocked that, what are you saying? No, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to me. I was breaking a thought. I was breaking a thought. I could not let the chain of that thought continue on, because I do not want to have that stuck in my mind. I let it be known that that is not mine. That is not the road that I go on. That's not the train. You say, well, that doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't it may not make any sense to you, but what it does is it makes power for me. Try it sometimes. I do mirror therapy. I remind myself when I have something really great happen and I start to feel so great about myself. Okay, Baker, that was good. That was good. But don't camp on that. And don't think that you did it by yourself. I look at my team. You know, people say, well, oh my gosh, you've done this great. And you did this and you did this. I say, baby, it wasn't just me. It was a team. It was a team effort. My team makes me look good, help me to look good. My team reminds me of this. I don't do any of it on my own. Remember, I hear people say, oh, this is a self-made man. This is a self-made woman. Number one, you didn't make yourself to be able to get into this world. If you didn't get into this world by yourself, you know that you're not going to be able to do anything else by yourself. No one is self-made. Don't let that prideful type of a thing hit you. Don't let anyone, I don't care what pinnacle you rise to, don't allow anyone to put those things on you. These are tricks of the enemy of your mind, the enemy of your soul, the enemy of your life. Look for friends. Look for brothers and sisters. Look for those that are going to tell you the truth. You know, I love having a family, and I love being Black too, and being in the family that I am. Why is that? Because they will help you, pull you down to your sense. I mean, shake you in a sense. Okay. You're able to go through things. You're able to, let me put you in your place. Let me help you get to where it is. If they are true family and if they are true friends, your true friends, your true family will not tell you to do something or will not allow you to do something wrong and make you think it's right. This is one of the things this is one of the problems I have sometimes with the church, sometimes I have with religious people, I have with politicians, I have with all different groups. You get into your group and then you get groupthink, circular thinking. Oh my gosh, we're making strides. Here it is. We're doing something wrong, but let's keep doing it. Well, you know, it's only this, and I don't want to hurt their feelings. And look at what it is that came from it. And then what happens is you have this circular thinking, whether it's thinking negatively about another group of people, thinking negatively about yourself, thinking negatively about someone else or whatever it is. And then what happens is it feeds it and feeds it. Do you realize that it's destroying you? That's another form of pride. It's subtle. but it's prideful. I see this in groups. I see this all the time. And in that group is groupthink. It's all of that. It's something that said, well, this is okay because they did that. Never compare. Another thing that pride does, pride compares someone else that you have already decided is wrong or less than you, so that now you can elevate you. I see this again. I see this in different cultures. I see this in nations. I see this in marches. I see this in all of these different things. And then what happens is this. If you try to break out of it, then what happens is, I guess you young people or people call it gaslighting. They gaslight you, or they try to make you think that you're wrong, try to make you think that you're speaking this way and that you are a turncoat, or that you are a one that is against them. No, I am. See, prideful people make you think that. Prideful people do that. But here's one thing. I noticed something in the Bible, in the book of Joshua. Joshua was getting ready to go someplace, and here it was, they were, and to cross over. And there was an angel of the Lord that came. And Joshua says, are you for us or for them? He said, I'm not for neither one of y'all. I am for the righteousness of God. He didn't say it exactly in that way, but he says, I'm on the side of God. So I'm not for you and I'm not against them. I'm not for either one. I'm for righteousness. Pride will keep you from being honest and being fair. Prideful people, prideful thoughts, prideful actions will never allow you to be righteous, to look at a situation and judge it accordingly, to have a standard. Prideful people don't have standards. They move. They move to whatever is beneficial for them. So I submit to you, when you have a standard, when I work at governing myself after the standards of God, the principles of God, the principles of the Bible. So therefore, it doesn't matter. I don't have, my mother and father are dead, but even if they were alive, my sister and brother are dead, but even if they were alive, I'll give you a story, a quick story. My sister, when she was alive, she worked for me. And my sister wasn't doing the job. She said, well, I did it and it's okay. I said, but it's not up to the standard. And she said, well, you're just hard on me. And I said, no, you're just fired. And so I fired her. How could you fire your sister? Very easily, because we had a standard. Standards have nothing to do. It's no respecter of person, whether I like you or I don't like you. I have a standard in which I govern by. Whether I like me or don't like me, I still have a standard that I must live by. That will keep you from being prideful. When you have a standard, when you have something that you know, I cannot go away from this, here is the standard, then you will be able to like yourself, but not hold yourself too high. You will be able to love yourself and not think yourself too low. You will be able to think as the Bible thinks, as the Bible says, soberly about yourself. You won't get drunken with all this pride. Oh my God, do you see what I have? I got my private jet. I got my cars. I got my houses. I got all this money. I can do this. I can do this, or I can do this, or I can do this. You won't get so low as to say, I don't have all of that. This is what makes, I don't have enough to do this. You see, because you know that as long as you're alive, if you live by a standard, and if you work to follow that standard, and if you work to do what it is that you have planned out to do, that you realize something. And as I said, I follow the standards of God. I follow the standards of the Bible. So I'm no respecter of person, and it doesn't matter whether it's a family member or a non-family member. Or myself. See, when you don't live a life of pride, then you're able to look at things. You're able to take criticism. You're able to take correction. In fact, you look for yourself. You look to correct yourself. You look to find the faults so that you can change them. And you can even have fun in doing it. So those are three of the things that I wanted to throw out, that I wanted to give you today, so that you don't throw these things out of your life, so that you look at these things and you are able to judge yourself. And I know that this video has been helpful to you. So I want you to like it, subscribe to it, and then push the alert button or that bell to let you know when the next video is coming. And remember, we have an upcoming Optimize Your Brain Challenge. Be sure and look for us on our website. And I'll see you next time on the next video. Bye-bye.